Hi, everyone. Today I'm sharing a deeply personal story about how I paid off $50,000 in debt. This journey was far from easy and required some major life changes, but each one was worth it. If you're struggling with debt and feeling like there's no way out, I hope my story gives you some ideas and encouragement to keep going. So let's start with the full picture. My debt wasn't from one big expense. It was a mix of things: credit cards, student loans, and a car loan. My approach had always been to pay the minimum each month, thinking this would keep everything under control. But I realized that the debt wasn't going down. In fact, the interest kept piling up. Eventually, it hit me that if I didn't do something drastic, I'd be in debt forever, and that thought scared me into action. Facing the numbers. This was the hardest part, honestly. I had been avoiding looking at the exact total because it felt overwhelming. But I sat down with all my bills, opened a spreadsheet, and wrote down every single debt along with the balance, minimum payment, and interest rate. It was terrifying to see the total, but I felt an odd sense of relief too. At least now I knew what I was dealing with. This was the turning point because once I had a clear picture, I could make a real plan. Building a budgeting became my new best friend. I downloaded an app called You Need a Budget, YNAB, and started tracking every dollar I earned and spent. Seeing my spending habits laid out was eye-opening. For example, I realized I was spending over $200 a month on takeout. Cutting this back didn't mean I stopped eating out completely, but I started cooking at home more often and setting aside a reasonable, fun budget for dining out. Little changes like this made a big difference, and every month I saw more money available to put toward my debt. Choosing a debt repayment strategy. When it came to paying down my debt, I opted for the debt snowball method. Here's how it works. You focus on paying off the smallest debt first, while making minimum payments on the others. Once that small debt is gone, you move to the next smallest, and so on. Some people prefer the debt avalanche method, which targets the highest interest debt first. But for me, paying off the smallest debt gave me a motivational boost every time I could cross one off the list. It's about finding what keeps you motivated. Don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you. Starting a side hustle. I knew that just cutting expenses wouldn't be enough, so I looked into earning more. I had always enjoyed writing, so I picked up freelance gigs online. This wasn't easy. I worked late nights and weekends, but each extra dollar went straight toward my debt. In a typical month, I could earn anywhere from $500 to $1,000 from freelance work, which accelerated my payoff plan tremendously. If writing isn't for you, there are so many options out there like pet sitting, online tutoring, or even renting out unused items. Find what works for you and put that money to good use. Selling things I didn't need. Around this time, I did a massive declutter. I started listing things on online marketplaces, old clothes, electronics, and even furniture. One of the hardest decisions was selling my car. But after weighing the costs, I realized it was costing me more than it was worth in loan payments, insurance, gas, and maintenance. Switching to public transportation and ride-sharing saved me hundreds each month, which I could now put toward my debt. Finding support. Being in debt can feel incredibly isolating, so I joined an online community of people who were also working toward debt freedom. Connecting with others on the same journey was a lifesaver. I found a group on Facebook and also followed some personal finance YouTubers and bloggers. Every time I felt like giving up, I'd see someone post a win or share a tip, and it kept me motivated. Don't underestimate the power of community support. It really can make all the difference. Practicing self-care. Along the way. It's easy to burn out on a journey like this, so I made sure to prioritize self-care. Instead of spending money to reward myself, I got creative. For instance, instead of going out for a spa day, I'd do a DIY spa night at home with a face mask and a bath. Instead of splurging on a big night out, I'd plan a cozy movie night at home. These small, budget-friendly rewards helped me stay positive and celebrate little wins along the way. The final payment and takeaways. After 3 years of dedication and hard work, I made my final payment. It was an incredible feeling to see my account balance and realize that I was finally debt-free. I took a screenshot to remember that moment. It's something I look at whenever I need a reminder of what's possible with a little patience and a lot of determination. So here's my advice. Don't let the numbers scare you. Take that first step, set a budget, try out different methods, and surround yourself with support. It's not easy, but financial freedom is worth every sacrifice. And if I can do it, I know you can too. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's never too late to start your journey to debt freedom.